Okay, good morning all. Let's start with the lecture. Today we are going to start up with the second part of the book, which is all about employability skills. So, in employability skills, we'll learn about different skills that we need to develop so that we can get better opportunities in future, right? Let me just open my file. Okay, to start with, I'll just share the file with you people. Now, this is a separate book. The book I have already shared does not covers this part. So I'll share this PDF file to you people also. And employability skills are just the kind of skills which a person should have so that he or she can get certain employment in future, right? So what all basic skills are required, um, that will be covered in this particular book, right? And this portion covers up your 10 marks in your final exams, right? Before we go further, I'll just show you the curriculum, right? There are slight curriculum changes in the um, pattern of the question paper. I'll just show you that before, and then we can start with the chapter. Uh, See, as per the CBSE latest change, uh, there is a change in the pattern of exams, right? So, where is that file? Oh, here. So, this is the pattern blueprint given by the CBSE this year, and 10 marks employability skills and 50 marks your subject skills. So, subject skills we have covered everything. This is basically 12th grade blueprint. So, we'll follow the same in 11th. ये 12th के curriculum के हिसाब से है. So 50 मार्क्स के आपके सब्जेक्ट स्किल्स है जो हमने और कवर अप कर लिया है. वी आर लेफ्ट विद ओनली दिस मच एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल जो 10 मार्क्स का होगा. और क्वेश्चन पेपर ब्लूप्रिंट में you will get 1 mark question objective type. You'll get 6 questions in the final exam and you have to do any 4 out of it. Then there will be 2 marks question and 5 question आएंगे, 3 you have to attempt. So in all, this is 6 marks and this is 4 marks. So 10 marks is covered up in this employability skills portion. So this we are going to start today, right? In subject skills, 1 mark question, objective type questions are 32 will be given and 26 you have to attempt. Short 2 marks question, 5 will be given, 3 you have to do. And short 3 marks question, 3 will be given, 2 have to be attempted. And then 5 marks question खत्म कर दिया है. अब 4 marks question होंगे, right? Long questions are 4 marks now. So 5 questions of descriptive type will be given and you have to attempt only 3. So the major portion is that 26 number का subjective part में सिर्फ objective type questions हैं and 24 marks का जो descriptive type questions होंगे, right? So objective type questions are increased in your blueprint, right? So in all, if you talk about this, the question paper will be divided into 2 parts. Section A, B. Section A is objective type, जो 30 marks का होगा. 30 में से 24 marks का subjective जो skills हैं और 6 marks का आपका employability skills से होगा. और ये जो subjective part है 30, इसमें से 4 marks का subjective skills है और बाकी का 26 marks का आपके जो A 4 marks का is from employability skills and 6 marks, 24 marks from the subjective skills. So basically your question paper will have 30 marks objective type paper जिसमें से 24 marks का आपका subjective होगा जिसमें database, Java और जो जो chapters हमने किए थे open office के वो सब cover होंगे और 4 marks objective type आपका है employability skills है जो अभी हम we are going to start with that. So this is the format, final format that we just got, right? Okay, let's go to the book first of all. Move on to the book. So I'll share this book in the group also today. Let's just start with this. Initially, acknowledgement and all are given. So let's go to content. See, now the book is divided into 5 units. Unit 1 is about communication skills, how to improve your communication skills. We'll talk about all type of things which cover up types of communication, how to be write, what are the basic writing skills, and what all things you must remember while writing certain things. Grammar में क्या चाहिए? We'll talk about all those things, habits and all. Well, self management is how will you manage yourself. उसके ऊपर कुछ topics हैं. ICT skills में we have done all this already. Right, open office हमने कर लिया है तो यहाँ पे LibreOffice writer document and all those things are given, so it's same that we have covered up already. Then entrepreneurship, where this is all introduction to entrepreneurship, what is it and how it is to be used. And the last one is green skills, how will you help your society to be greener, right? Environment को कैसे green करना है या फिर अपने जो technical pollution है उसको कैसे कम करना है. So these are general topics, not totally related to computer science. So we'll start with the first thing today. What is communication? Um, you can see communication is sharing of information between two or more individuals. Now you can see here, uh, when one person say, where are you going? The other say, I'm going to home. So the one person is asking for information and the second person is giving the information back and the first person is receiving the information. So this is called a sharing of information. This is communication. Communication process is you send a request to somebody for some task and the person gives you the feedback of your request. This is a communication. It can be within one or two, within two individuals or more than two individuals also, right? So sharing of information between two or more individuals or within the group, right? So that a common understanding is reached, right? So that whatever the things which we want to convey are totally conveyed. Communication is a word taken from Latin. The communicare is the word which was there in Latin language. This means to share. Fine. तो ये तो grammatically हो गया what is communication. Now why communication is so important, right? Then it's the you can share your thoughts, you can share your feeling, you can share your ideas, right? As a student, you may study any language, but it is important that you need to read, write, speak, and listen well in order to communicate. So the thing important over here is that should you can read, write, speak, and listen in any one of the language. So that will lead to effective communication. So if you are speaking more than one language, it helps you to communicate well with people all around the world. Right? You can talk in different languages, so it also helps to increase the communication. Right? Communication skills are needed to inform. Inform means uh, giving some information, right? Communicating the time of a meeting, for example. मीटिंग में हम इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं तो वो इन्फॉर्म हो गया. इन्फ्लुएंस मतलब किसी को for example, negotiating with a shopkeeper to reduce the price. Influence is to make some person realize कि भाई ऐसे नहीं ऐसे ही करना है. जैसे हम शॉपकीपर के पास जाके कुछ बार्गेनिंग करते हैं प्राइस रिड्यूस करने की, that is called as influence. You are influencing somebody, right? So we need some if you have strong communication skills, only then you can influence, right? Otherwise, it will be difficult. अगर आप you go to some south state, right? There you are not able to speak out their language, Malayalam language. So it will be difficult for you people to influence anybody. You cannot express yourself thoroughly. So communication skills are required for doing this influence or giving information to somebody. Or you can also express your feeling, right? Like to say or show that you are excited about your success, right? Like if you're excited about something, you always jump, you always say, "Hooray, I have done this thing." So excitement to express karna, that can only be done if you have proper communication skills, right? If you can communicate it to somebody, right? So this communication part is very important. Now we have what are the elements of communication. Now communication is a two-way process. Two-way process means two people are there. One way is you sending some information to somebody and you are receiving the information back, right? Giving information, receiving information. That is called as two-way process, right? Our communication starts with a sender. We need a sender, the person who is sending some information. A sender sends a message giving or asking for information. Can give information or ask for some information, right? Then third thing required is how the message will go. A channel is required, a path is required, right? Channel कैसे, जैसे एक तो face to face talk है या phone पे बात कर रहे हैं. So that phone is a channel. Face to face means you are talking to somebody directly. That is also one channel. So we need a channel for communicating or transmitting the information from one sender to the receiver, right? The message is received by the receiver, the person who is receiving that in message can be any information or any request, right? And then this receiver will reply to the sender. This replying is called as decoding. Encoding is sending a message, and decoding is replying to a message, right? So try to understand the message and then give a feedback or a reply to that message. Like अगर इसने पूछा है कि how are you, right? So it's a question, it's information being passed to the receiver. So receiver will try to understand what he said, that how are you. Then he try to analyze it, means that it is decoding has been done, and then the receiver will send a message back to the sender that I am fine, right? So that I am fine is the information, receiving information which has been passed to the sender, right? Message is received and then the receiver replies to the sender. So these are the five elements of doing any kind of stuff here, right? So communication can only occur if you have all these five things, right? So these are the five basic elements. So giving, receiving, two major part of information, exchange of information. So if you speak something or write something, that is giving information. And if you read and listen, that is receiving information, right? Speak out and you write. So that is like I'm talking to you people right now. So I am speaking up, right? So I'm sending information, I'm giving information to you people, and you people are listening to me. Then you are receivers here, right? You are receiving some information. Then what are the perspectives of in communication? Perspectives means what are the ideas, views, and fixed ways of thinking, because these all things will affect your communication, right? Whatever idea you have, if your mind is sharp enough to express or find out some more better ideas, so that will also enhance your communication, right? For example, if you have a fixed idea that your teacher or father is strict, if you feel that your father or some teacher is very strict, so even when you are being they are being friendly, अगर वो आपसे friendly भी बात करें, you may think that they are scolding you. You may feel that कि भाई वो तो डांटते रहते हैं. So right, so that these kind of things affects your communication process with that person, right? In the same way, others may also have fixed ideas about you, which affects whatever you say to them. So if somebody has some fixed ideas on you कि भाई यार ये तो बच्चा सुनता ही नहीं है, like teacher may think कि भाई इसको जितना मर्जी समझा लो, मतलब मत ही बोलो, ये सुनता ही नहीं है. So person can have a fixed idea on you people, and that affect the way of communication between these two people, right? So we'll discuss about all these factors which affects the communication. First of all is the language. In case of use of incorrect words, unfamiliar language, or lack of details, language can act as a barrier to communication. अगर आप incorrect words use करते हो, right? You are not familiar with the word that you want to use, right? For example, if you go to, as I took an example, you go to South, वहाँ पे उनकी लैंग्वेज में आपको बात करनी है और you don't know the language properly, you know only certain words, so you will not be able to convey your things properly there. So those are incorrect words that you're using, right? If you are unfamiliar with the language, you're not knowing that language, so that can create a barrier in the communication process. Sometimes there is lack of details, like you're not able to give the proper details to anybody, you don't have the details with you, um, or lack of knowledge or language can act as a barrier, right? For example, language can act as a barrier when Indian who only know Hindi and a Chinese who only knows Mandarin want to interact. So the person, Indian who is only knowing Hindi and the Chinese who is only knowing his language or her language, Chinese language, so they will not be able to communicate with each other क्योंकि दोनों को एक दूसरे की language नहीं आती. Sometimes this language acts as a barrier, as a restriction to the communication. Then we have visual perceptions. Visual perceptions mean by seeing on somebody, like judging people or situations by how they look, right? कि जैसे भाई वो पुराने कपड़े पहने तो हम लोग देखते हैं यार ये बंदा गरीब है, right? So that can also act as a barrier in communication. Like your your perception is that person is a poor person because just by seeing on his clothes and all cannot you're not able to judge that if the person is educated or not, right? So हो सकता है वो person जो है वो educated हो but वो एक simple उसका पहरावा जो है simple हो. So just by seeing that person, its way of wearing clothes, you just make a perception कि भाई ये बंदा जो है ऐसे लगता है, but हो सकता है वो बहुत educated हो. So this can happen. This thing can happen. So this is one kind of barrier in communication. Then certain past experiences, right? So past experiences is simple. Like if you one this example is also given that this shopkeeper cheated me. You go to market to buy certain thing, this shopkeeper cheated me last time, उसने last time भी मेरे से ठगी की थी, उसने मुझे पैसे ऐंठ लिए थे. So let me be very careful, so that will also affect your communication with that person, right? Past experience से भी जो communication पे फर्क पड़ता है. Prejudice, the fixed ideas such as thinking no one in my class listens to me. अगर आप ऐसी सोच बना लेते हो, no one listens to me, no one cares about me, right? So that person, that student will not be able to communicate openly in the class, no, will not be able to come and communicate thoroughly to other people or to the family members, right? So ऐसी सोच बनाना भी एक तरह का barrier है. Feelings can also be barrier. Feelings and emotions such as lack of interest. If you're not having interest in somebody, like if you कोई बात कर रहा है आप उसको सुन भी नहीं रहे हो, that is lack of interest, you are not interested to listen to that. So that also works as a barrier. Or you don't have trust on somebody, right? आप trust नहीं करते हो person जो भी है जैसा भी है बातें कर रहा है, right? But you don't trust that person, that also affects your communication process. Like I am sad, let me not talk, right? So this is how a feeling can also uh, hinder the communication process. Sometimes environmental problems are there, like noise is there, disturbance is there in the surroundings, so we are not able to speak properly, or if we are speaking, the other person is not able to listen to you people. So ये एक तरह का environmental disturbance है. While speaking, while walking on the road, right? When you're walking on the road, you'll find a lot of noise must be there. Road पे बहुत noise होता है vehicle के, right? Traffic का. So the other person may not be able to listen to you people, right? Your communication will not be proper then. Then some personal factors can also affect your own feeling, your habits, your way of thinking. Like you have fear, you have your confidence is low, so that also affects the communication. Like you are not confident to speak, so you will not be able to communicate properly. Then even if you are, you know everything, right? कि भाई जो कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है, अगर हम किसी को बोलना है चलो भी आपने ग्रुप को बात करनी है, ग्रुप से बात करनी है, उनको बोलना है समथिंग, you have to give a lecture kind of thing. If you're not confident, you're not be able to deliver it properly. Culture also works as a barrier sometimes, right? Now, showing a thumb, you may mean good job for some people, but may be insulting for some others, right? Like if you show your thumb to somebody, कुछ लोग सोचेंगे भाई ये he's cheering up, it's a good job. Somebody may take it as a positive effect, and somebody may take it as insult, a negative part also, right? So signs and such kind of things of different cultures convey different meaning, right? These are some of the barriers that affects. Then we'll talk about how communication can be made effective. Now, effective communication can happen if we follow the basic principles of professional communication skills, right? So हमें एक प्रोफेशनल कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स के जो प्रिंसिपल्स हैं, बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स, देयर आर 7 C's, हमें उनको फॉलो करना चाहिए, तब आपकी जो कम्युनिकेशन है वो बिल्कुल प्रॉपर होती है. व्हाट आर दी 7 C's? क्लियर, कंसाइज, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. Right? These are 7 C's. 7 C's are very important. Many time it has been asked in exams. Right? We must know these. Clear matlab, be clear about what you want to say and write. Communication में सबसे important है that you should be clear about what you are saying or whatever you are writing, right? So idea should be clear. Secondly, concise means use simple words and say only what is needed. You should not write a full paragraph, right? You want to convey the things in one line, but you are writing a full paragraph for that. Or you want to convey one single thought and you are speaking continuously, right? Keep on saying a lot of things. So ये concise होना बहुत जरूरी है, to the point होना जरूरी है, right? So because thing is that if you keep on talking about something, right, so the other person may get distracted, right? वो जो मेन पॉइंट है उस पर फोकस नहीं कर पाए और किसी और चीज को पे फोकस कर ले. सो कंसाइज होना बड़ा जरूरी है. So clear should be there, your thought should be clear, your point should be clear, then concise. The points and information that you're giving should be concise, to the point, short, right? Only important thing we should convey. Concrete means use exact words, phrases, or use facts and figures. So it should concrete का मतलब है कि जो कुछ आप convey कर रहे हो वो that should be the way you are conveying, the words you are going to use, the phrases you are going to use, the sentences you are going to use, वो to the point और correct होनी चाहिए, right? And use certain facts and figures if you want to give some kind of example to express. So facts लगाओ, figures लगाओ, तो उससे थोड़ा जो मैटर आप कन्वे करना चाहते हैं वो क्लियर होता है, right? Correct, use correct spellings, language and grammar, right? When you're writing certain things, अगर आपकी ग्रामर में गड़बड़ है, आपकी लैंग्वेज सही नहीं है, आपके स्पेलिंग्स रॉन्ग है, तो हो सकता है सामने रिसीवर को समझ ना आए क्या लिखा है, right? So correction should be there. Next is coherent. Your words should make sense and should be related to the main topic, right? So whatever you are speaking, it should be sensible, and moreover, it should be related to the topic on which the communication is being taken places, right? Taking place. So related to topic बोलो जो point आप convey करना चाहते हो, you should be whatever you are saying should be just near to that point only, right? You should not talk irrelevant. Next is complete. Your message should have all the needed information. ऐसा ना हो कि आप communicate कर रहे हो, आधी बात करी, या half of the message has been sent, half of the things are missed. So that is also incomplete information, and that will not lead to some effective communication. And the last and very important part is that you should be courteous, be respectful, friendly, and honest. Always give respect to somebody. Don't shout, don't use certain vulgar language, right? Always be friendly with the other person, the receiver, and be honest, right? Whatever you are saying should be true, should not tell lie to somebody, right? So ये जो है 7 different steps are there which must be followed to make your communication more effective, right? Now we have different kinds of different methods of communication. It can be non-verbal, it can be verbal or visual, right? Non-verbal, जिसमें we are not expressing anything, we are not saying anything. Verbal means where words are used, and visual means your visual effects are used, right? So then we are given with some practice exercises. This you can go through yourself, right? A role play on communication skill. Nothing is required. Although it's a group activity, we cannot do it here and right now. So some of these activities are there. 7 C's communication pay. You have to make some. Each student write down the examples of several communications on their notebook. The student volunteers to give his or her example to how to communicate well, right? So it's a kind of activity that can be performed in a class, right? So such kind of questions can come. What is the purpose of communication? Why do we communicate? Either to inform or to influence, to share your thoughts and all. So all of the above will be the right answer, right? Likewise, which of the following method is used to receive information from the sender? Receiving करना है, so either you should listen, right? Speaking, telling, writing जो है वो sending का part है. Listening is the receiving, right? By which action can a sender send his message? Speaking, right? Then the match, you have to like language, emotion, environment, culture इनके साथ match करना है. You can do this yourself. I'll go with the next session. So we'll talk about the first type, that is verbal communication. It is sharing of information using certain words. Verbal means where words are used, right? And it is the most common type, common method of communication, right? So non-verbal and visual will cover up later on. Verbal communication is important because if you do not use right words, you will cause confusion and you will not be able to communicate with that whatever you want, right? So words should be correct, your grammar should be correct, right? And the spelling should be correct. अब verbal में भी आगे further types हैं. Types of verbal में one is oral or spoken communication, right? This communication is the communication which involves talking, where you talk to somebody, right? इसमें क्या क्या examples हैं? Face to face communication, where you can see uh, the listener. Face to face is both the people are sitting in front of them and they are just talking to each other. For example, group discussion, talking to family members at home, public speeches. So these are all face to face communication where the speaker can see the listener, right? Second category in this open or spoken communication is talking on a phone, right? So this is for personal and official communication. And phone conversation should begin with a greeting hello, then talking and listening to each other, right? And conversation ends with the words like goodbye and bye. Thank you, right? Then another category is classroom teaching, right? Business meetings, public speeches are the examples of oral communication, right? और इनमें क्या difference है that one person is talking to many users at one time, right? यहाँ पे one to one communication है, face to face one to one है, यहाँ पे one to many communication, right? Then this was oral. Then next one is written communication, in which written the whatever information is being passed is in the form of written or typed words, right? For example, you are writing a letter to somebody, a note to somebody, right? So that is a part of it. SMSs nowadays we are using short message services. So you send a SMS from the phone. That is also a type of written communication. Or you are sending messages on WhatsApp, right? So that is also one type of written communication, right? So and SMSs can be sent to one from one person to many people or one to one also, right? Using emails to share news, thoughts, document files, right? And again, it can be sent to one person and group of people also. Another category comes in this is the printed books and newspapers. This is also written communication. It is always sent to many people, right? So these are some examples of types and examples of verbal communications. Now we'll talk about advantages. Verbal communication के फायदे क्या हैं? एक तो ये easy है और quick है, right? Whatever you want to express and say, you can quickly say it. Then you can say what you want, you get a quick response also. You'll get the response immediately. Like if you're talking to somebody, if you say something, you'll get a response immediately, right? So it is a easier form of communication. Right? You can keep changing your communication as per the other's reply, right? So frequent hai, one to one hai, immediate hai. So that's why the communication can be changed as per the reply of the person, right? What is the disadvantage? Verbal depends upon words, and sometimes the meaning become confusing and difficult to understand, right? If the right words are not used, if the words are not being used properly while speaking or while writing, the other person may get confused on those words कि इसका मतलब क्या है. This is one disadvantage. Public speaking के ऊपर लिखा है कि public speaking is speaking in front of large group where many people are there, right? And it makes most of the people very nervous. Public speaking हर कोई नहीं कर सकता है, उसके लिए practice चाहिए, right? And the people get nervous while talking to many people, right? Now you can use the 3 P's method: prepare, practice and perform. ठीक है? तो ये method से you can overcome the fear and become a confident and effective speaker. The points are given like prepare में क्या होगा? Think about the topic, think about what listeners need to know, think about the best way to make your listener understand your topic, and write what you plan to say, right? So make a points of all these things, the topic that you want to talk, listeners को क्या सुनना है, आप किस तरीके से बताओगे कि listener को समझ आए सब कुछ. Right? So plan out everything. This comes in preparation. Second is practice. Practice by yourself first. Talk in front of the mirror. Talk in front of the family or friends, right? And ask them what they think and get the reply and feedback from them. And always speak clearly, loud, and at the right speed, not very fast, not very slow. Finally, take a few deep breaths if you are feeling nervous. Whenever you're feeling nervous, take some deep breath and think about what you have prepared and then start speaking confidently. So this is the process of gaining confidence in public speaking, right? Then activities are there which we can perform in classes, role play, public speaking, and some questions. Questions, I'll give you answers that let's discuss this question answer. Choose the correct example of oral communication. Reports, they are not oral. Newspapers, they are not oral. Face-to-face interaction is oral. Notes are also not oral. So इसका answer होगा face-to-face interaction. What are the words we should use when we communicate verbally? So when you communicate verbally, use straight word, simple word, precise word, fixed words, right? You should use precise word, the words which are correct. Why do we send emails? To communicate information, to share documents, files, to talk to each other? A and B. A and B are correct. To give information to somebody and to share your documents and files also. Right? Write down the exam types of verbal and with example. This was given earlier also. Fine. So I think I'll end up now because time is running out. So just practice all the things, go through these things later on. And if you find some difficulty, doubt, you can come and discuss, right? Okay, then goodbye from my side.